Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However, you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And listen, you hear me talk about it all the time. As a social worker, very few things get me more excited than looking at programs that have done a needs assessment in our area and says, where do we need help? Then we have people that dedicate their time, energy, and efforts into making those things happen. I'd love to introduce you to Miss Leslie Lacey. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Keith.
Absolutely. All right. Leslie is the Fostering Hope Louisiana Executive Director. And let's talk a little bit about Fostering Hope Louisiana and what it is and what people need to know.
Absolutely. Fostering Hope Louisiana is a nonprofit organization that I started in 2020 with the goal of addressing the mental health needs of children in foster care.
Okay. And let's look at one of those kids because you know what? That just says, hey, help me, right? This says, make sure that you let me know how valuable and important that I am. And so as we're fostering hope, we're looking at these kids who are in the system, right? And we're looking for a way to help them. But we want to find a unique way to address their issues without saying, hey, you have issues.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So what a unique way to be able to do that and how to figure out what this program can do and be. What was the reason for you wanting to do this? What really tugged at you to say, I need to do this?
You know, Keith, I represented children for 13 years,
Okay.
and I've been in the child welfare system in the legal aspect for
Right.
15.
Wow.
And one need that was constant was the need for mental health. We don't have enough social workers,
Correct.
trauma informed as well. So children just were not receiving the attention that their trauma needed. We in the system do our very best to address their needs,
Right.
but oftentimes we just put Band-Aids on them.
Right.
So in my observation, I had a client who needed braces,
Right.
and at that time she was aging out of the system. And so my husband and I paid for her braces. And
Right.
that's kind of how the whole idea started.
Kind of started,
And
right?
wow, we could do something for her confidence. That counts as mental health. It's not just the huge diagnoses that you hear. It just starts with self-confidence. And I
Right.
thought, well, if I could do that for young people, that's something.
Wow. And believe it or not, that one may seem insignificant to some. It can be huge to people who have constantly had difficulty to overcome, more difficulty than most to overcome. And so, how real is this? Well, I want to share the Lucas story with you. So, Aaron, if you wouldn't mind, I want to share Lucas's story. And so, if you're wondering why Fostering Hope and why Leslie has decided to do this, why they prioritize the mental health of youth in foster care, and why they use orthodontia to do that, they want to bridge the gap. And that's a great comment, to bridge the gap. It's because of children like this 11-year-old Lucas who committed suicide Christmas Day last year. Their trauma is real, and so is the impact. And that's just a little bit of Lucas's heart right there that needs to tug at ours a little bit to let us know that we don't always think about it. But my dear friend Kevin Champagne, who helps run McDonald Children's Services, who does such a phenomenal job at helping to really reintegrate these kids and help them know that they're loved and give them programs. This is another layer, right, that works with them. And I know that you've seen them through that program and be able to help them. And so I love this idea of being able to do that. And so I kind of want it to break our heart a little bit, right? Because the impact is real. Tell us how we make a difference through orthodontia into that bridging the gap with mental health.
Well, children are referred to Fostering Hope Louisiana by their DCFS case manager or
Okay.
CASA volunteer.
Right.
And that's the introduction that they receive to Fostering Hope Louisiana. Of course, they have to be eligible, which means they're stable in their placements, and
Right.
we have some requirements in order to invest this type of money.
Yeah,
in
well, we got to
children.
make sure we're vetted, right? We want to
Exactly.
make sure that these people that we're going to do a shout out for. So, for those of you paying attention at home, I'm going to ask you to donate, and I'm going to ask you to do that today because I'm going to do the same. My wife and I are going to do exactly what Leslie and her husband did in small portion to be able to make a difference and go a long way. I want you to be able to do the same. And so, this is our opportunity to introduce people to something that they don't always think about.
Right. Well, and foster care is confidential, everything about it.
That's right.
I mean, I can't even tell you the true names of the children, but to the extent that the public can be aware of what's going on and how they are impacted and how they can make a difference, that's why I'm here.
And so I love the ability for you to be able to take your role and your position working through the legal system as a JD, as an attorney, being able to say, okay, I've been helping here. What else can I do? Right?
Yes.
How do I take this to the next level and be able to make a difference and an impact? And interestingly enough, one of those things that I think we find about kids is if we can do one thing to dramatically impact a positive change, they're looking for another one.
Yes.
And it can be a building block to a much healthier life, a much richer life, quite frankly, a more joyful life that maybe they didn't even imagine for themselves.
You've got it.
Right?
Yes.
So and again, people don't always think about it. Going to the dentist is one of those things that I think people think about not liking.
Right.
I don't want to go to the dentist.
Right.
Well, think about the people that don't have the opportunity, or they've got some problem with their dental needs that can't be addressed because they're in a system that's not the top priority, where you're making it the top priority because of what can come next.
Well, once a child is referred for orthodontic treatment,
Mm-hmm.
we believe, based on our experience, and our resident board member, Dr. James Frugier, suggested that all children be educated on how to care for their teeth.
Oh.
So we want to set them up for success.
Right.
So first, we teach them how to care for their teeth by offering these trainings in which they must participate.
Okay.
And they are held Saturdays, for 3 Saturdays, for 3 hours, and we teach them oral health skills. And so literally brushing their teeth, they have to demonstrate that they know how to brush their teeth and floss, not just with braces, but without. So we have teeth models that we use to show them how to do that. And we also teach life skills. It's something as an attorney that I did not have an opportunity to do when I was with them. We're so concerned with, are you sleeping at night? Are you visiting with your siblings? That I never had an opportunity to talk to them about 3 areas of great importance to me. That's
Okay.
communication skills, financial literacy, and mental health. Healthy relationships. So we have actually recruited partners from around the state. Chase Bank bankers come and teach on the financial literacy portion.
Okay.
We teach communication skills. Of course, it's necessary if you have a bracket loose or a wire's poking, you've got to tell someone.
Right.
We can't read your mind.
Right.
So our community partners come in and just share with the young people how to better communicate so that their needs can be met. And finally, we do mental health treatment. I am also an ACEs educator. So we talk about adverse childhood experiences and the effects that their trauma has on their daily living.
And again, it's interesting because people may be thinking, "Oh my gosh, you're using like this dental work and these trainings to tell them what to do," but we're teaching them a skill that maybe nobody taught them,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And maybe this skill bleeds right into this next life skill. And you would be surprised how very often, and I've done some work with some kids, and they sometimes want to tell their story.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so I think very often people may be watching this going, "Oh, wait, are you sure you want to do that?" Yeah, we're sure.
Absolutely.
We want to make sure that we give this opening, this venue with the partners that you work with to be able to say, yeah, not only tell us your story, tell us where you're struggling. And it starts with, oh, this thing picks.
Yes.
And that it's okay to say, I'm hurting. And it's okay to say, I need help.
Absolutely.
And we build on that on the 3 Saturdays that y'all do some of those trainings, right?
Absolutely.
And it's kind of built into the system, but it's a quiet way of saying it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say something's wrong. It's okay to be able to feel uncomfortable and address it. Instead of just very often where those kids just push that stuff down and say, I got to deal with it.
Absolutely.
I'm on an island. I've got to take care of it. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Lucas was going through, right? We don't want another Lucas situation.
Correct.
We want an opportunity to be able to build off of these life skills that most of us get in these family units that these kids don't have availability for.
It's true.
We're going to build those
That's the
and
truth.
teach those. I like that. So now that everybody at home is going, oh my gosh, I absolutely need to join forces with Leslie and make a difference in somebody's life. Here's a way to donate. There's a QR code right there. You can just use your phone, go to the QR code, and you can donate. But Miss Leslie, let's tell people how they can do that as well.
Well, you're more than welcome to go to the Fostering Hope Louisiana website,
Right.
fhlouisiana.org, and there are donate buttons all over the website. And for those of you who are a little more comfortable doing it the old-fashioned way, like I am,
Right. Myself.
writing the check,
Right.
then you may do so and mail the check to Fostering Hope Louisiana at P.O. Box 2126, Prairieville, Louisiana 70769.
I'm going to ask you to do that one more time and tell them that address. Old school people like me, I'm going to tell you why that's important. Go ahead. That address?
The address is P.O. Box 2126, Prairieville, Louisiana 70769.
70769. And here's my next shout out. My wife and her family love to celebrate a birthday all month long. Yesterday, I challenged people to give to St. Jude's for my birth date. Today, I'm asking you for the end of the birthday month in August to donate now to Fostering Hope Louisiana. Find a way to do that. And whatever you do, if you know me well enough, call me, and my wife and I will discuss if we can match it. So I'm challenging everybody out there watching, everybody, do that. If you really don't like me, really do it, because that way it's going to cost me money. You know how I feel about that. So that's what we want to do, be able to do that shout out, and we want to foster hope for Louisiana. So let's talk about why we're doing this. Put the next picture up, Aaron. We want to show you whom you're going to be helping.
So Fostering Hope Louisiana conducted 5 trainings across the state.
Right.
Our very first training occurred here in Houma, and there
Wow.
were 3 young people who were eligible for braces.
Right.
2 of those are already in treatment, but this young man is still awaiting treatment.
And we need to raise about $4,000 to help, right?
That's correct. Our
So
orthodontic
we want to do it today. Today, find a way to donate to get up to $4,000. Go ahead.
I will say our orthodontic partners have been so gracious to reduce the cost of their services
Wow.
for our children.
Wow.
So $4,000 is extremely reasonable.
Because of what work needs to be done.
Exactly.
And that work needs to be done. Please find a way to help Miss Leslie Lacey make a difference for these young kids, because we're going to be fostering hope for the rest of their lives. Find a way to help them. Thank you for joining us
Thank you
today.
for having me.
I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on HTV.